Welcome to Home Field Advantage, SFA's only home for sports nationally, locally, and on campus. I'm your host, Bobby Morrow. Today we'll talk about the ongoing woes of two NFL teams in Lone Star State, this weekend's annual homecoming game, the World Series, the upcoming NBA season, and more. All that and then some coming your way on Home Field Advantage. The Cowboys lost their fourth game in a row, losing to their division rival, the New York Giants. Matt Castle got his first start for the Cowboys and threw for 227 yards, one touchdown, but with 3 interceptions. It wasn't all bad for the Cowboys, though. Running back Darren McFadden had himself a game, running for 152 yards and 1 touchdown. However, the Giants took advantage of the 4 Cowboys turnovers. The Cowboys are now 2-4 on the season and are in last place in the NFC East Division.
The Texans lost badly to the Miami Dolphins this week, losing 44-26. Dolphins quarterback Ryan Tannehill had 3 touchdown passes in the first quarter. Miami became the first team in at least 75 years to score 4 offensive touchdowns of at least 50 yards in one half. More bad news for Texans fans. Running back Arian Foster hobbled off the field late in the game with an Achilles injury that might end his season. The Texans are now 2-5, but only second place in the AFC South.
It looks like the Houston Cougars have found their niche in this year's college football season with a blowout victory against the UCF Knights this past Saturday. Despite the Cougars falling behind late in the first half, the second half didn't go as planned for the Knights. The Houston Cougars' Kenneth Farrow rushed for a career-high 167 yards and 3 touchdowns to lead the University of Houston to a 59-10 victory on the road against the Knights. With this convincing victory, the Houston Cougars move into the AP Top 20 for the first time since 2011, with a ranking of 18th in the nation.
There was a shocker in Tallahassee this weekend as Georgia Tech faced off with the 9th-ranked Florida State Seminoles. What eventually became the Seminoles' first regular season loss in 3 years, Robert Aguayu, perhaps the best kicker in the country, attempted a 56-yard field goal with 6 seconds left in the fourth quarter to put the Seminoles ahead of the Yellow Jackets 19-16. However, Patrick Gamble had a different idea as he blocked this game-winning field goal that led to his teammate Lance Austin upsetting the Seminoles with a 78-yard scoop and score, putting Georgia Tech over Florida State 22-16. Florida State falls to 17th in the country.
Despite rainy conditions, the Texas Longhorns came out with a 23-9 win over the Kansas State Wildcats, improving the Longhorns' record to 3-4. Backup quarterback Tyrone Swoop scored 3 touchdowns for the Longhorns, including 2 rushing touchdowns. The Longhorns defense did the heavy lifting in the rough playing conditions, holding Kansas State to 9 points and only 242 total yards of offense. Kansas State has now lost 4 games in a row and drops to 0-4 in conference play. The Longhorns look to continue their winning ways this weekend when they travel to Iowa State to take on the 2-5 Cyclones.
The Royals take Game 1 of the 2015 World Series. The Royals, who knocked off the Toronto Blue Jays in 6 games, met with the National League champion New York Mets on Monday night and came away with a wild walk-off win in the bottom of the 14th, when Alex Gordon hit a sacrifice fly to win the game. For the Royals, it's a quick return to the World Series after falling in 7 games to the San Francisco Giants. For the Mets, this is their 4th World Series appearance and their first since 2000.
SFA women's soccer team played an impressive game this past Sunday against Incarnate Word. The Lady Jacks dominated the Lady Cardinals and came out with the win. Hannah Baker and Brianna Moore each scored a goal in their 2-0 victory. The Lady Jacks improved to 7-0-2 and are currently ranked number 1 in the Southland Conference with 2 remaining road games.
The SFA football team came away with an upset victory of 28-21 against Southeastern Louisiana. The Lions started the game off strong and were up 20-0, but the Lumberjacks fought back and ultimately took the lead in the fourth quarter. After trailing 27-20 entering the fourth, Zach Conk scored on a 1-yard game-winning touchdown rush with 38 seconds to go. The Lumberjacks improved to 2-5 on the season. Their next game will be against Incarnate Word on Halloween at 3 p.m. This will also be SFA's annual homecoming game.
When we come back, we'll take a closer look at SFA's fencing club. Stick around. This is Home Field Advantage. Fencing isn't the most popular sport in the States. However, SFA has a fencing club here on campus. We've sent our very own Philly Galendo to check it out.
In SFA, there are so many sports clubs that often become overlooked by many. However, there's one sport that trains students to maintain balance, technique, and patience. The main object of a fencing bout, which is what an individual game is called, is to effectively score 5 points. Each time a fencer scores a touch, he or she receives a point. You have to score 5 points on your opponent before he or she scores that number on you. The fencers are given 6 minutes, and if time's up, whoever has the most points wins. Since their establishment, the SFA Fencing Club has gained curiosity from students into the art of sword fighting. The club can reply to that curiosity with practice.
We talk about the positioning, the movements, how to attack, how to defend, how to recover, like the basics, and the fundamentals of it, footwork, and it's always this repetition to get good at something. It's always this repetition and repetition.
Do not expect to just focus on one technique. The president makes sure that the fencers practice with various forms of the sport.
We also offer like the saber fencing, epee fencing, and we're actually currently working on trying to implement like long sword fencing as well that way. But obviously more safety precautions would have to go, so you would have to do the foil fencing first to learn and understand what fencing is, and then from there you can progress.
The SFA Fencing Club is welcoming everyone from all levels in fencing. Those who are brand new to the sport will be guided by the officers who were once brand new to the sport themselves.
Well, I've been doing it for 3 years. I started my first semester when I got here.
Yeah.
And then I became an officer my third semester, so my second year. I've been an officer ever since.
First started, the only experience I had in fencing was watching movies. So I had zero actual physical experience with it. The club taught me everything.
We provide all the gear. The only dues is like after the third meeting or so, after you've had time to like get a feel for it, if you really like the teaching of it or if you just really like it, it's about just $10.
The purpose of this club is to introduce fencing to curious students and provide a practice space and friendly environment for experienced fencers to improve their techniques. Practice is held Monday nights 8 p.m. to 9:45 p.m. at the HPE Rock Climbing Room. Validated student ID is required to get in. For more information, visit the SFA Fencing Club page on Facebook. From Home Field Advantage, this is Philly Galindo.
Welcome back. I'm Crystal Hickman, and I'm here with Maddie Kaufman. How are you doing today, Maddie?
I'm doing awesome, doing great.
Okay, so I understand you play sports here at SFA. So what exactly do you do?
I run track for the track team here. Actually, I do the heptathlon and pole vault as well.
Oh, you do? So was it your choice to do those two events, or was it like, is that what you're good at? Or?
Actually, it's 8 events. I do 8 events, and yeah, I guess it was my choice. I came in, and I was only supposed to do a couple, but they said, you know what, you'd be really, really good at the hep, and so, you know.
Can you explain that for me?
Yeah. The first, I do the 100 hurdles, and then I go on to, 30 minutes later, we go on to the high jump, and then we go to shot put, and then we go to 200, and that's the first day. And the second day, we do the long jump, and then we do javelin, and then we run the 800.
Oh.
Yes, and so it's
it's a lot.
It's a lot, it is. And also I pole vault on the side, so it's kind of more of, honestly, I pole vault. I rarely practice pole vault, but I do it enough just to get points at conference, just so we can win again, like we always do. So.
Okay, so you're doing a lot. So how much training, how much time do you put into your training?
Oh, especially nowadays, and during season, we probably practice about 4 to 6 hours a day.
Ooh.
Yes, it's, for me, I think if it's during one event, I would get so bored with it. I get bored really easily. So I would get really bored with it, but I love it, you know. From, let's say one day of practice we'll go through 3 different events. We'll go from the shot put, and then we'll go to, let's say we'll have a running event, and then we'll do long jump after that.
Yeah.
So you you don't stay on one event for too long. You keep going on, and you move on to the next one, move on to the next one, move on to the next one. And I love that because it's, you know, then again, it's time consuming and it's grueling on your body, but it keeps me I guess, focused and having fun with it.
Oh, that's good. As long as you're having fun.
Yeah.
So what's like been a challenge for you? What's the hardest like event or challenge anything?
Oh, the hardest event. No one likes the 800. No one likes running 2 laps. No one likes it.
Yeah.
But I think the most frustrating one would probably be most frustrating, but I want it to be more fun would be the javelin.
Yeah.
I love the javelin. It's not hard ish. It's not. I guess it doesn't make you feel like you're dying like the 800 does.
Yeah.
But it's really technical. You lift the javelin, it's really, really light, so you think you can throw it really far, but in reality, it's really, really hard. There's a lot of technical things that go into it, and people don't understand, but it's, if you throw it right, it looks really cool, but it's not, majority of the time, it's pretty hard.
Yes. So I understand, like, you're the senior, so what's it like to be in charge of all these freshmen and all these young people coming in?
Well, actually, our team probably doubled this year. Maybe not, but pretty freaking close. It was, we got so many new freshmen this year. SFA is getting on the map, of course, with Demi, with our basketball team, our football team, Gus. It's going really, really well. So we had a lot of more freshmen, and you know, some of them came in, and some of them are really good. Some of them, you know, need some work. But my coach just kind of put that on me, saying, you know what, Maddie, you need to, you know, be the leader when I'm not there. You need to lead them. You need to know what the workout is. You need to teach them through it. You need to be the guinea pig for everything. And I like that. I like being, you know, the leader. I love that about my coach and how he trusts me into doing that. It's just a great feeling being the leader in all of it. It's good.
That's good. Well, far from being a leader, I understand you're in some other activities at SFA. So what other orgs are you in?
Well, actually, I'm on this show. But yeah, I'm probably, actually no, I am definitely the only radio TV major or anything like that of that sort on the track team. I think even a lot of the teams, I don't really know anybody else besides maybe I think one tennis player that's in the radio TV field. I think because it's so time consuming. Radio, TV, and stuff. You know, you have a lot of projects. You have a lot of filming you have to do. You have a lot of, I guess, just time that you need. And same thing with track. Like I said before, it's 4 to 6 hours a day on the track, and it's kind of hard juggling those two things. But I love both of them, so I try to make the best of both. Sometimes I fall short, but but other than that, I love them both. So.
As long as you love them, that's good. I also understand that I learned that you are also on the ESPN. So how's that working, and what's different from this show and then the ESPN?
Oh, the ESPN class that we have here, it's different. It's like a job. It's not even like a job. It is a job. You get in, you walk in, he tells you what you need to do, this and this and that, and then you go, and you leave and you go. And if you don't know what you're doing, it's a sink or swim kind of thing. So it's a sink or swim. So if you don't know what you're doing, he will chew you out, and it's a straight up job. And I love that about it. You know, I love the intensity of the pressure that he puts us under. He literally, you know, conveys a job atmosphere, and that's perfect for us. That's what we need. That's what we're looking for, and so that's why we're here in college, to get a good degree and, you know, do really well.
All right. Well, that's all the time we have today. So I want to thank Maddie for joining us. Up next, we have the boys, and they're going to debate some interesting topics with sports.
Welcome back to Home Field Advantage, and now it's time for, well, my personally favorite portion of the show, the debate portion. And it's going to be a little bit different, though, this week. You know, instead of 3 of us, it's going to be 2 of us. It's going to be me and Juwan sitting here just battling it out.
Yes, sir.
Throwing back our opinions and just seeing who's going to come out victorious in all of our subjects. And I mean, I'm sure it's going to be me, but
no, sir.
We'll just talk about it anyway. I'll throw you a chance out there. So, of course, the big thing going on right now is a World Series.
Yeah.
So right now it's the World Series. Game 1 was last night, and you know, of course, it's the Mets versus Royals. And Game 1 was last night. It was Edison Volquez versus Matt Harvey. 2 fantastic aces that just, I mean, they dominate each team they face. I was excited to watch it, and it was a great game. Great game. It went into the 14th inning.
Yeah, that was actually a very good game. The 14th inning, that's abnormal. But for a baseball lover, they had to love watching 14 innings of pure greatness.
Oh, free baseball.
Yeah, free baseball.
You got 5 innings of free baseball coming at you. That's pretty awesome. Sir. And especially the home team got to get that walk-off for their fans. So that was awesome. But one thing that I really wanted to talk about, because it was such a big thing that we learned about only after Edison Volquez got off, stopped pitching in the middle of the game. Edison Volquez's father passed away.
Yeah, I actually heard about that.
Right before, I mean, he didn't know, but while he was on his way to the stadium, his father did pass away.
Yeah, that's actually devastating. You're going into one of the biggest games of your life, and to hear that you lost a family member, nobody, athlete or not, that is something that anybody going into their job will be ill-equipped to prepare themselves for, going into something that's extra big to your career.
Well, and the thing is, though, there's a lot of backlash coming out, towards the commentators that were talking about the game, because Edison Volquez didn't know about his father before the game, and there's a lot of backlash coming back from the commentators, because they're saying, "Why didn't you guys say that? Why didn't you guys bring that up?" And the commentators, they say, "Well, it's because we wanted, his family asked us to not tell him, and so we didn't say anything because they know they're smart enough that if they say something, it's going to be on social media, and he's going to know within 5 minutes."
Yeah.
And I don't know, I was watching the game, and when he came out of the game, that's when they started talking about it. And I got to admit, he looked very, not upset as in sad, obviously he was. He looked angry in the dugout. He went in the clubhouse, found out, obviously, and then came out, talked to his manager, Ned Yost, and he looked very upset.
Yeah, but when you lose someone like that going into a game, you always want to, it's almost like an added motivation. You might have that on your mind, but something like that, a sport that you love can give you peace.
Absolutely.
And, for them to unable to come away with the win, that had to be a hard thing on him.
Well, they did come away with the win, though. Alex Gordon hit that walk-off.
Oh,
yeah, they did win. But he did go home. He went home for his father's funeral, and he will be back in Game 3, even though he won't be pitching in Game 3. But the World Series is still going to be a great series, because this is the Mets.
Yeah.
I mean, when you think about power pitching, that is the Mets. I mean, they have Matt Harvey, Jacob deGrom, and other Met pitchers that are just dominating. But the thing is, you also have this Royals team who can hit anything. Yeah. And they have hit anything. Looking back at previous series they played, they will hit them, and they did it last night. This is going to be a great series.
Yeah,
absolutely great.
And the Chicago Mets are playing for something extra.
New York Mets.
New York Mets. New York Mets, I'm sorry. They're playing for something extra. I think the last time they won was like 1987. 86, I want to say. So, this is a big opportunity to get that chip off their back,
Absolutely. And then, but the Royals have it, because they lost in 7 games last year.
Yeah.
So they have that little extra motivation as well. Well, regardless, it's going to be a great series. I hope it goes 7 games. I think it will, because these are both evenly matched teams. I'm looking forward to it. Back on the home front, though, we have homecoming this weekend on Halloween. It's going to be our Lumberjacks playing on the Incarnate World Cardinals.
Yeah, and our Lumberjacks have actually been on a pretty good roll this past couple weeks.
They cut it close last week.
Yeah,
They won. It was a W.
Yeah, that's the important thing. They finally got the W, and it's a lot of seniors that's experiencing this last homecoming game. So it's good that they can get a few wins in before the end of the season.
Absolutely. And they're going to be playing Incarnate Word, and SFA is 2-5 now. They've gone that little hot streak that we've been talking about. And then Incarnate Word is 4-3, mainly because of their sensational running back, Junior Sessions. They call him Junebug, I'm pretty sure, is what I've been told. Junior Sessions, and he's going to have a big game, because our defense hasn't been stopping the run very much.
Yeah, that has been one of the things that a lot of teams have been exposing about SFA, but luckily they have been able to gut a few games out at the end. So, yeah,
Junior Sessions had 174 yards and 2 touchdowns in the last game. That was a big game, and if he continues his hot streak, SFA is in for it. But if Clint Conk, he's the coach, if Matt Conk can hold on to the ball, because he has a very bad history of fumbling. If he can hold on to the ball, I honestly do think SFA can win this one.
Yeah, as shown in the previous couple of weeks when they got that win against, what was that? The team that was on a 22-game losing streak.
Nichols.
Nichols State. That was a very sloppy game, and that was a very horrible game. Luckily, they was able to come out with a win, but you have to think that going into that game facing a team that's on a 22-game losing streak, you want to beat them more.
You have to have a little bit of confidence going into that game, right?
A little bit of confidence, but it's obviously that team was a bad team.
Yeah.
SFA is, as the coach have reiterated every week, that they're not a 2-5 team.
No.
They have more talent than that. So luckily they've been able to get it together these past couple of weeks.
Absolutely. And then, staying with SFA, Gus Johnson.
Gus
Still
Johnson.
in the news here on this show, got signed to the practice squad by the Atlanta Falcons.
Yeah, actually, a lot of Cowboys fans was calling for him to be moved up to the active roster because outside of this previous game, the Cowboys have had a lot of running back problems.
They've had some issues.
Yeah,
let's just leave it at that.
Yeah, they started running back Joseph Randle went out with an oblique injury.
Yeah.
So yeah, but Gus Johnson, that's a good thing. He just got signed to the Atlanta Falcons practice squad. So hopefully that he's able to continue his career.
Well, if he puts in the work, which I know he will, because it's Gus Johnson, he always one of the hardest workers, and I think he's going to put in some good work and he's going to do some good things.
Yeah, he had a good.
I hope so, at least.
He had a good career here, and he had an excellent preseason for the Cowboys.
Yeah, he had a great preseason.
Yeah,
a couple touchdowns.
A couple touchdowns. He threw up the axe.
Little Axum Jacks for his first touchdown. That was awesome.
A lot of fans was excited about him, and long and behold, the Cowboys actually cut him and brought him back.
Yeah, brought him back for another try, and then I guess they cut him again.
Yeah.
But that's in the past now. On to the future. Atlanta Hawks or Atlanta Falcons. He's going to do good.
Yeah.
Now the NBA has started.
Ready for it.
Basketball is back. I'm excited. I know you're excited.
I'm real excited.
You love basketball, right?
I love basketball
all the time. Loving your basketball.
Yeah, Steph Curry in his opening night dropped 40 and had 24 points in the first quarter, which was his career high for a first quarter. So it was actually an incredible game to watch.
The man's a beast. He's just MVP. I mean, that's all you have to say is MVP.
Yeah, he showed why that he was awarded the MVP over James Harden.
Now that's still a little sore for me.
Oh, it's okay. The Players Association actually owned their own award show, and they awarded James Harden that MVP award.
Oh, okay.
So both of them walked away with a little something.
So it's a little bit, it's okay.
Yeah, both of them walked away.
Compensation, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
But so we have the Mavs playing the Suns, and the Mavs. I know it's preseason. We always say, oh, it's just preseason, but they did go 0-7 in the preseason.
Well, they have 3 new additions to the starting lineup, new point guard, new shooting guard, new center. So, it's going to take a little time to get the chemistry going, just like last year.
Chemistry's huge in basketball.
Yeah, chemistry is huge because, you just can't be floating out there.
Look at last year. Kevin Love, LeBron James.
What did
Kevin Love do for the first half of the season?
Yeah, they didn't get it together until after the All-Star break.
Yeah.
So
no chemistry there, but they got it back.
The chemistry is big. The Mavericks actually have a few new pieces that they should be able to get to deep in the playoffs this year.
Let's talk about the other Texas teams. First, the Rockets.
Oh yeah,
I mean, they're going to be in the conversation.
Yeah.
With Dwight Howard, James Harden, Patrick Beverley, Ty Lawson. That's 4 guys that are just. I mean, you hear those names, you're like, yeah, those guys are good.
Yeah, this year for James Harden to prove that he was robbed of that MVP award, he has to get it done this year, Bobby.
Oh yeah,
he has to get it done.
I think he will too. He's confident.
He is, but
he was. There was an interview yesterday. They asked him, "Who do you think the all-around best player in the league is?" And he said, "Of course, myself."
I actually heard that, and a lot of people criticized him for that. But if
if
you're a competitor, you're going to think that you're the best.
Oh, I hope so.
Would his fans want to hear that? No, LeBron is better than me.
I'm not that good.
Steph is better than me. I don't deserve any of this money.
Yeah.
So no.
Confidence is good, and I think the Rockets are going to do good. I hope so, at least.
Yeah, I'm not a Rockets fan, but they look like they formed a pretty good team this year.
I hope so.
Yeah,
I'm hoping so. And then the Spurs.
Oh, the
They're
Spurs.
always the Spurs. They're always in the conversation because I think Tim Duncan's 87 years old now.
Yeah, he's approaching about 100 century mark.
But the thing is he's still amazing.
Yeah, the Spurs are one of the most consistent teams in the NBA.
Absolutely.
I mean, every single year they're in contention to win an NBA title. Every single year. Now last year they got knocked out by a clutch lucky shot by Chris Paul, but it happens. So they're pretty consistent.
Well, okay, now we're talking about the NBA. Then let's say finals. I
NBA finals.
I mean, just started today.
Yeah.
But still, let's do a little early. What do you think for the finals?
You know what? It's been a lot of big changes. It's been a lot of moving around, head coach changes. Mm-hmm. But I'm gonna stick with who was in it last year. I'm going with the Warriors and the Cavaliers again.
Okay.
The Warriors, they have their team back. They have Steph Curry, the MVP.
Of course. Cavaliers,
they have LeBron. They'll get Kyrie back. Kevin Love, he looks to become more comfortable in his role.
He's looking to expand on last year, which
I'm
not going to say it was mediocre, but it wasn't his best.
This is the coach's second season. So, it's speak great deal to him. He got to the NBA Finals in his first year. So I believe,
this is amazing.
Yeah,
awesome.
I believe he learned from that. He's going to come back vicious because a lot of people think it's not his team.
Yeah.
A lot of people think LeBron is the player, the coach, and the owner.
Yeah.
But
But I got to be honest. I love my Rockets. I love them to death, and they have amazing players.
They do. I mean,
I have to agree with you though, and that's funny because I was going to say the exact same. I was going to say the Warriors. I was going to say the Cavaliers because those are two teams that you just can't overlook ever because they're just going to be that good.
Yeah, the Warriors are going to stay consistent. Now, Steve Kerr has done a magnificent job with them and LeBron. But if you have LeBron, you have a very good opportunity
If
to
you
win
have
a ring.
LeBron, you have wins.
Yeah, that is true. LeBron is going to be it's no year LeBron is not going to be in the finals. So, yeah.
Well, that's all we have for today. Be sure to follow us on Twitter at SFA_HFA for the latest updates on the Lumberjacks and from around the state. And be sure to nominate a student athlete you know for our weekly Aspire for Greatness Award. We will highlight the winner on next week's show for excelling beyond the field, whether that be in the community, classroom, or in their family life, or otherwise. Just tag them with the hashtag Aspire for Greatness. We'll be back next week with all of your latest SFA, local, state, and nationwide sports news. I'm Bobby Morrow, and I'll see you next week on Home Field Advantage.